Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, dear viewers, this is Aurangzeb Sohrawardy again from Reality Talk, a program which you are liking the most, giving your comments. I tried that I must bring diversified guests in the programs so that you get to know what different things. Again, in today's program, I am overexcited, overwhelmed, and overjoyed because we have Dr. Saikat with us from Pune. He is a PhD supervisor, postdoctoral fellow. Oh my God, long list of his achievements and introduction, which I will request him to do it himself. So we welcome you, Dr. Saikat. So nice of you to spare time and be with us.
Thank you, Aurangzeb sir. It was a great privilege that you have invited on the forum where we are connecting with two different countries and onto the forum of a topic, and which is very popular topic. And more importantly, let me introduce myself.
Yes,
because please. I carry around 25 pages of my CV, and people get afraid that is how much you are carrying a 25 pages of CV to cut short.
Oh
so
my God.
let me very briefly tell about me in a short. Basically, I am a postdoctoral fellow from University of Extremadura, Spain, in subject of entrepreneurship. And second, I have completed my doctorate in management from Indian University, State University. And simultaneously, I have more than 50 research publication in Scopus, APDC, and Google citations. And I have more than 6 papers right now. Presently, I'm working with Springer Nature, and which is in collaboration with Vietnam professor. And normally, I tell you, I have around 20 professors collaborated from different countries. And it is a privilege that I have been working with European faculties. Even I have worked with Japan. I have been working with Vietnam. I've been working with Taiwan. Even I'm working with Pakistan. I have worked with Lahore University faculty also. We have published good papers with them. And also I have been working with Iraq faculty. So this has given me a good learning lessons, that is the connectivity of education and culture. It does not have any barrier. Very simple thing is, we as an educationist, we have to overcome this barrier and make it a one platform of connecting culture and education on a one platform. Because everybody today, if you talk about, consider the knowledge as a benchmark, everybody is part. But what we want is that this is in one sector. This is one very important sector as an entrepreneur or as an educationist. You can connect with the people in a different parts of the world and create a good global village and create a very happy country, right? Because that is the most important thing. Because every country today, after this pandemic COVID-19 situation, every country is looking for one important thing, is happy index. How happy you are, how your citizens are happy. Can we do that? Because this is a very important thing, is every country is looking for happiness. It may be respect to your economy, in respect to your savings, in respect to your growth, everything. And when we talk about a growth, because the most important thing topic and most important thing that has made me to learn, that is, and I have also received a fellowship from different countries. I have received fellowship from Ministry of Taiwan, Ministry of Foreign Affairs Taiwan, and even I have received a fellowship from University of Gyeongju. And I have been, and more important thing is, I have received travel grants, multiple travel grants for presenting my papers, even in American University of Sharjah. And I've been traveling every year. It has been me. More important thing is traveling to a new country. Because last year I traveled to Taiwan. People, my family, my friends, my colleagues, everybody was saying that Taiwan is an earthquake-prone area. Everybody was saying this is a small continent in the island. It will be very difficult to exist there. But what the most important challenge I face in my mind is, if an education does not set an example for the students to learn, it is very difficult to create a role model in their eyes. I said, let me travel. And I tell you, I carried Indian stuffs from rice, dal, spices, and everything from India to Taiwan. But I tell you, within these 3 months of journey, I love the people there. I started interacting, and I tell you, very surprisingly, the 3 months went very easily. And I'm surprising. I tell you, even 5 times I have prone to the earthquake shivering, and it was 7.5 also. The epicenter was 7.5. Early morning, you will get a shivering, and your phone will be getting stuck, and you will be worried about what is happening. But still, Almighty is there who looks at you. He knows that is. If you have a purpose in your mind to be good, He will create an escape road for you. He will always create, and He will always there to help you out. So this is my small story about me, and this is my journey continues till my eyes are open, and I want to do. And basically, I tell you very practically, it is an open forum. My future vision is already I have registered a small business with, in my father's name we are starting a preschool, and this is I want to adapt because this is a preschool which I'm going to open for people who are not able to afford higher education curriculums. And I have been talking with the multiple countries. Even I visited Geneva. I have started interacting with them. I have already in touch with them to establish their curriculum into our curriculum in India, so that global curriculum helps students in India with economical fees to learn. That is most important thing. Is if you talk about today in India, education has become more commercialized. Now we are more important prone into giving degrees rather than giving knowledge. So this is my future vision. I don't know. I have already registered my trust, and this is a small. I tell you why I have started this dream, because this is a dream makes me to understand when you're talking about the topic which we have relevant today, micro entrepreneurship and economic growth. I tell you, in India, 64% of the GDP contribution comes from MSME. This is the micro entrepreneurs contribution.
Yes.
And this is very important learning lesson for us. And today, government has started some scheme of pandemic. After the pandemic situations of still we are into the pandemic, we are not able to recover from it. I tell you, even in India, even we in Pune, even the cases are increasing every day. So still we are not recovered completely. And I know for the next 6 months, the process is going to run. And to have a complete recovery, and more important thing is, this more important challenges for now is the micro entrepreneurs. Now what they have started, because this is the biggest challenge for them to sustain their business. And what we call as a micro entrepreneur, why we define, and I want to tell you, like in India, with the definition we tell is that the micro entrepreneurs normally they run their own business, or they have less than 5 employees, Their cost factors are very less. And I tell you, in India right now, people have started, they are becoming a freelancer. They are working from home, they are working for different companies and on a contract basis. And they are earning more money than having their own business.
That's great. We will talk it in more detail, but let me tell you, listening to your story, listening to your projects was so amazing that I was just spellbound. The one most important lesson which I extracted from your words is that nowadays it is the time of collaboration on individual levels or on company level, on country level. Without collaborations, it's very difficult to survive. Second thing which I got from your detailed analysis is that micro entrepreneurship has a very important role to play even in India, in Pakistan, in all other countries. So I would like to know your experiences, your concept of entrepreneurship, why it is different from the normal business. Kindly clarify this to our audience also.
Yeah. when you talk about an entrepreneur, normal entrepreneur, what happens is that he has more important backup of having his own idea and starting his own venture and putting in money, because he gets a funding from different sources. It may be VC or everything. He might be having a funding from different government sources. But when we talk about a micro entrepreneur is a basic platform where we start. Even we talk about, like example I'm talking about in Lahore, they have started targeting students, because in Pakistan, even in India, you cannot give employment every year. You have people, engineering students passing out. In India also, we have more than 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs engineering students passing out. Can we give them a job opportunity? So let us micro entrepreneur is a basic platform of creating an incubations for the students to start their initial phase of their journey as an entrepreneur. And we don't know the success and failure. It depends upon with the time, right? We cannot define their destiny. But I'll tell you that is every universities and institutions, if they start bargaining on micro entrepreneurs from the initial stage of the schooling or college days, and making the students to be aware of the fact is that we can start a small venture, or we can start a small entrepreneur with a small funding, which can be supported by any government, even universities. And that will give them a platform of motivation to start their own venture. Because if you don't create that, and more important thing I tell you that is, in Pakistan, in India, normally we are having technological skill developments,
Yes.
which is happening. We have a lot of institutions they're giving the update, because in India we have upgraded technology happening, overnight changes. The technology changing overnight. So now what we want that the students will be acquainted with the new technology skills which is required. So I want that is in Pakistan also they should come up with some skill development institutions with giving upgradations on the technology to the students. And I tell you very literally that is when you try to focus on this part, then automatically I tell you the students will come up with a small idea and then help them to create their own micro entrepreneur, even without an employee or with an employee. Tomorrow it may happen, they can recruit their own alumni, they can recruit their own friends into the company. And I tell you, this is normally we bargain that is of 100% placement, because in Pakistan it's very difficult. You give up placements to every students of engineering students coming out from different universities. And what happens is that they migrate to the other countries. Can we stop that? Can we? And Prime Minister Imran Khan has very positive on this, because he has learned one lesson from the cricket. He has learned that when he has struggled during his cricket career, he has learned that is they were not world champions, but they became a world champion because by learning from the failures. When they travel to the different countries, they know what is the strength and weaknesses they have. And today, when he has come into the position in a political scenario, he understands that today you have to create your country's strength is based on the internal people. Those don't want to migrate. You have to stop them. You have to create a job opportunity here.
Okay, Dr. Saikat, after listening to your words, the difference of entrepreneurship and a normal business, the importance of micro entrepreneurship. Now just come over to the practical aspect. What advice do you give to the students in India or in Sri Lanka or wherever you go? And that same advice would you like to give it to Pakistani youth? Because in entrepreneurship, most of the students have this myth and imagination that entrepreneurship means big offices, corporate structures, huge investors, money, and all that. What advice would you like to give to them to take a first step from the minimum resources and start micro entrepreneurship? Kindly advise.
Very good. So what I will suggest, Aranju sir, is all the universities in Pakistan, they do have their own infrastructural parameters. Everybody has their own incubations. They don't have a funding. That is the biggest issue, the challenge. So what I'll suggest is that they can they can collaborate with some of the starters from different countries, or they can collaborate with students from different other countries in starting up their own venture. But one issue will be coming up is that the patent. So you need to find out, like example, like you have your own technological policy which you have already come up with. So you have your own policy in 2018 of the technological policy. On that ground, you have been creating more IT people, right? You have been creating more IT students, IT professionals in the market. It may be a BPO, or it may be a software, or in the field of hardware. But what I request is that all university, you have all collaboration, you have international collaboration with different universities around the world. So try to create an entrepreneurship hub or lab. Something like, example, we called as in European countries, they have started a green lab. I have seen a lot of Pakistani students have been working there as a research scholar. And they get hired there and they're working as a professor there. So why can't in Pakistan, the universities can have their own lab and create an entrepreneurship lab and motivate the students to collaborate with the international students and make a collaborative idea propositions, and taking care for one parameter is the patent, intellectual property rights, whether in which country it's going to happen, because when there is a collaboration comes up, always there is an issue of a patent. So this is one issue that is to be resolved. But when you talk about a micro entrepreneur, I tell you, for a small online business, you don't require a patent for that. Or two students from a different two countries, they are very good friends, they have been chatting, they have been intellectually connected on a social media, they can start their own micro entrepreneur. Second, if you have a very good content developer, you can have your own blog, you can collaborate with your content with a person who has been in the different countries, you can start a tourist content blog to share, like you can connect with the friends from different countries. Japan, Vietnam, you can connect with European countries where the tourism is very high. And you can start making money out of the blog, putting advertisements, revenue coming out of that. Business does not mean a four wall with an infrastructural AC. You have livelihood of, because you will be having an app. But the more important thing is you don't require a basic platform. You require a basic strong thought of passion to think and to execute. Business does not make you to think that is, I need a 1 crore rupee to start a business. The more important thing is you should have the basic concept of understanding what business you want to get into. And that learning platform should start from the university level. It is the role of the education to teach that.
Now, after listening to such wonderful words, we come to a stage where I must definitely ask you that whenever I interact with students of entrepreneurship or the people who want to start their own business, they have certain other issues also, like money and all that. But the important issue on which I want your comments is the network development and especially supply chain development. They lack in this. That's why they start the business, but due to weak network of friends and peers and customers and poor supply chain management, businesses fail. Kindly comment on this.
Like, I tell you one thing, like, the more important thing is business. Running a business is like a human psychology. Human psychology, I tell you. Oranges, sir, you are happy today, tomorrow you may not be happy. You may not get the same smiling or same feelings, right? But what motivates you? What motivates you to become unhappy? So business is because you have to make your blood flow, right? You have to maintain your pH level in your blood to make yourself internally migrating your nerves to be active, right? But in a business is what? Business, your main cash reserve is very important thing we talk about. How much money I require to make my business to sustain? So more important thing is this thing cannot be inculcated into the student's mind. The more important thing, we have to create a concept or idea which is to be sustainable. That is the most important thing is. The idea which we put it in the mind of the students they come up with, we should help them to understand the idea what they have, it is for a long term, it's not for a short term gain. You have to make them a long term vision of reviving the business, because it may be a service sector, it may be a technological parameters, but the more important thing is you have to tell them this is how you have to create a long term vision for your business, understanding the parameter of existing cash reserve, what you have in your hand. Second, you have to find out the problems, the initial problem at the initial stage of the idea generation. So what are the problems we are going to face? So that students will be able to, you give a clear picture about what is the outcome, possibility outcome of solutions. And with the case studies of the previous companies, how they have recovered. So what will happen is that initial stage of the micro entrepreneurship will help them to understand the mindset of developing. And it will carry them forward to face the challenges when they are in the mid of the ocean, right? You leave anybody at the mid of the ocean, he will find there is no gateway out. You don't have any gateway to reach. But ultimately, there is a destination. Every ocean has its own destination. But if you start feeling at the mid of the ocean to find it out that I don't know where to go. But you cannot do that with the students. You have to make them a helping hand, teaching them three things. First, create a viable product idea or a tangible or intangible idea which is to be sustained for a long period. आपको market समझना पड़ेगा. You have to understand the market situations. What exactly? I'll give you a small example, like a lot of companies like Uber and Ola in India, वो अपनी in a short span of time they have become brands. And Byju, I talk about online education today has become a touch point. Byju has Bangalore-based startup now they are making money out of that, teaching online education to the students. And students, what is the most important strength of the idea was he was knowing. The founder was knowing about the fact is that the future trend, because we are spending more than 8 hours of our time on a smartphone, and children are spending more time because parents don't have a time to spend with the children. So what the children do is that they spend maximum time on the smartphones, right? I'm talking about the viability of a product, where you have to think as an educator to teach your students. First. Second, you have to collaborate with the corporate houses. Please collaborate with the corporate houses to get fundings, because every corporate houses, they need a new ideas. When you need a new ideas, because there are a lot of companies, right? You have a lot of established companies in Pakistan who needs new startup ideas for venturing out their business. So why don't university collaborate with these industries to venture out funding? That will help the students to the university. And third very important thing is, the students are, even after passing out of the university as an alumni, they should be the part of the role of the university for a long term. Because I tell you, Harvard University, right? Harvard University funding are done, maximum fundings are done by alumni. Very simple thing is. Yeah, sir.
That's great. Now, as I was talking to you and you told your very, very inspiring story, another thing which I want your insight is that most of the youth, they avoid or they hesitate from doing hard work or doing small businesses, going to small little markets, opening small shops. They feel disrespected, or they feel as of it is a lower status job or whatever. Their ego comes in. So kindly, through your personal life experience, guide them that they should leave all the status consciousness and ego behind and just do whatever they want to do.
I'll give you, Orange sir, this is a very good question. I'll give you a practical example. It is happening in my house. I have a child which is 4.5 years. He's going to complete 5 years. Right? And I tell you, my child, he does everything on a smartphone. He does everything. Even he knows he's not completed 5 years, but he's able to know what exactly YouTube is, how to upload, how to split the screen, everything he knows. What we did not stop him from doing something is the interest. You have to create that interest, and you cannot stop somebody to doing something which is of his love, right? We do something of our interest. Anything you stop doing, because children are something they will do of their mood. They are into a different moods, and they always have a mood swing. But our purpose as an educationist, we have to make sure that is they are focused. They are focused. Most important thing is you have to make them that is fine, guy. You are spending maximum time on your social media or smartphone. If I would have taught my son today, if I scold him, I tell him don't use the smartphone, and you do different other studies and you read, he will not study. I tell you, he will not consider on that. But I tell you what I have done is with him, I told my wife, you don't stop him from working on a smartphone. But what we have done is that we have downloaded Happy Class. There are a lot of softwares which is there. It is equivalent to your traditional classroom, right? Now you can draw pictures in smartphone with the different color combinations. You can draw that. Happy Class is a very good software which he works with. Second, if you want to learn any language or any, and I tell you, he has started earlier. He was only hardly 2 years or 3 years. He used to download the Spanish videos, alphabets.
Like father, like son.
It's my privilege that I have got a mature son. No, what I want to tell is that as an educationist, we can't stop them, forcing them or authoritatively. We have to create that environment of interest.
But whatever I want that you should comment on is that the youth, they feel low. They feel low. They feel their status is being disturbed. Their ego comes in while doing small things. I want your comment on that.
In that case, what I'm saying is that you have to take your students to the life micro entrepreneurs existing in the market. You have to set an example. You have to tell them, please go and work with them. Please go spend some time with them. Please know, because I tell you, there are a lot of entrepreneurs who have made their own children to work in a small jobs profile. Because you cannot make somebody's, even in India also, their son and daughters are being given a low profile job of a managerial level to understand the business model. Ego only comes when you show them in expectations. The biggest mistake we do as a parents or a teacher, we show them in expectations. When you do an entrepreneur, you will become a billionaire. You will make money. But we don't show them a reality. Yes. With our children also, we show them a dream. Your father is a very big shot. But we don't show the reality of the life. You have money, you have your lifestyle. But tomorrow, if you don't have money, you don't have a lifestyle. You have to make them realize also. You have to make them sure. And even the students needs to be practically exposed to the life entrepreneurs who have struggled their life and to work with them. And that is the reason I told you, that is, you have to collaborate with corporate houses. You have to collaborate with the micro entrepreneurs who has already been doing good in Lahore. Let them go there. Let them work with them. That is the biggest, because the case studies which you teach in the school or in the college, university will hardly for a few minutes. But the life examples of intentions will help them to understand the reality of the life.
Okay, now as we are approaching towards the conclusion of our program, I would definitely like to ask your comments on entrepreneurship education. What all subjects you are teaching to the specializations of entrepreneurship, or if they are core subjects, what sort of subjects and course outline you are teaching, what you advise for us to teach the specific subjects to the students of entrepreneurship. Kindly comment on entrepreneurship education at university level.
Right. Presently, let me aware you all my listeners that I'm working with a top university in India, that is Symbiosis International Deemed University. And this deemed university, normally we have we have multiple disciplines, starting from telecom to entrepreneurship to HR, IT. We have different fields, even culture, arts, everything we have here. So, but basic thing in my teaching core, I teach entrepreneurship and even I teach marketing subjects. But what I try to understand the students, basically I tell you that is every year we have collaborative research work with the students. And this year we have published 10 research papers with the students. And we do research, and that is on the Scopus. We are trying to publish on a Scopus to make them understand, because the research collaboration with the students is the first initiative which we do. Second, my subject area entrepreneurship, what I try to make them into the classroom is rather more theoretical. I try to make it them as a more practical. And for the good news is that I have my last semester, I collaborated with Singapore Management University, the top university in the world, and the QS rank, for with their incubation hub. And we submitted. We were not shortlisted because we submitted around 30 proposals and with ideas to them. That was the LeaCon competition which was happening, and we collaborated with them. And we were also the associate. We were also university was associate partner with them. So we collaborated with them. And more important thing is, I'm trying to make my students to be more practical oriented and making more as an entrepreneur rather than entrepreneur. I'm trying to create them an entrepreneur because I tell them, when you get placed in any of the company, you are going to create an asset for yourself. You should learn how to create revenues for your company as an USP. And that is the reason I'll not be focusing on entrepreneur. I'll be focusing more on entrepreneur.
Overall, developing the mindset of the students.
Yes. Yeah.
That's great. Do you recommend any specific subject which should be taught to the MBA final semester students or marketing students as far as the entrepreneurship concerned, like idea generation and whatever business planning? Do you recommend any specific subject?
Normally we have in our classes, we take some of the tools, we use some of the tools, like we have digital tools, metric tools, canvas tools, like ideas coming out of the technology. We have a different model canvas sheet which we implement in the class. Then we have business model canvas sheet which is already there in the market, which is already been every universities are using that. But we use some of the tools for adapting into our curriculum to extract their ideas. The more important thing is we create an interest first. In the class, I don't start with my session with a delivery of lectures. I don't start with my theory part, right? I want to first students to enjoy my class. I want them to enjoy taking that subject as not a burden, but they should feel enjoy. They should enjoy that. So I make them feel importance about the subject, and I want to create that interest in the mind. The more important thing is I try to create an interest. Why should you have an idea? What is the need of an idea, and and then what I do is I start scouting their ideas from their mind. Slowly I start making them involved, and slowly, because you cannot because bombarding with an theoretical part in entrepreneurship subject does not make sense.
Okay.
It's for time being refined. But this is what I have adapted by the tools, different adaptation tools.
It means you want to say that besides the entrepreneurship education, the training of entrepreneurship teachers is also very important, so that they should have an entrepreneurial personality to extract the best out of the students. So you are saying that teachers training is must.
Right.
Okay, that's great. Now, at the end, I would like to sum up the whole discussion, which was so helpful. What would you advise to young students who always look towards the government to support, who always remain in search of investors? What advice, concluding advice, would you like to give to the students to get into micro entrepreneurship?
No, I told already in my discussion, I have replied your answer. The first thing, create corporate incubators in every university. Corporate incubator means you have to have an MOU with every corporate houses located in Lahore. Have a collaboration, have an MOU with them. This is the first thing. So that will solve your problem of funding. That is the biggest challenge which you can solve it on. Second, the second important thing is try to expose them with a collaboration with the international startups so that they have innovative ideas collaborating with them. So that what will happen is that if you have people, students from different other countries, that will help them to get a better funding opportunity with the VCs. They can have a connectivity with the VCs. And you have to give them a platform to put their ideas in a global platform. It may be entrepreneurship summit or competition. They should participate and they should involve into it, and they should be allowed to travel to submit their ideas. And that is what I suggested is let them collaborate. Let them collaborate with the international startups or student startups who are being grooming up, because knowledge is like sharing. Because it may happen that your students in Pakistan may be having a good idea which can supplement to the idea of what the other students in the other countries are having. So the collaboration process will help them to make their business to be creating a business model to be more strong. And that is what they should. I told. This is what exactly Jack Ma, right? Jack Ma started his own venture with an e-line business, talking about Alibaba. Now you tell me Alibaba has more than 25 versions of languages of e-commerce websites. Wow. Even Chinese, even Hindi, even in English, European language, everything. Why he started? He started business in China, right? He established his business in China. He made it strong, and now today he's doing business in all over the world.
Yes.
The concept in this, you don't require only the basic platform of understanding where you want to establish yourself, and he created that.
That's great. That's great. So, dear viewers, this was all about micro entrepreneurship and economic growth. Dr. Saikat brought such innovative dimensions, internationalized concepts that I am truly amazed. And I hope that you must have also enjoyed the program. With this, I am so grateful and thankful to Dr. Saikat again for joining us. We will inshallah invite him next time also. Here we close our today's program. Thank you very much for watching. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Saikat.